Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, Peer-to-Peer Lending with Fundkiss. We get a lot of queries on how can someone, an individual investor, begin lending with Fundkiss. So we thought we'll put together this little video and provide you all the necessary information you need to get started on your Fundkiss journey. I'm Krunal. I'm the head of marketing and growth at Fundkiss, and we also have with us Amar. Amar looks after all our investors, individual as well as institutional investors, and consults them on investing with Fundkiss. You'll hear from him a bit later on. Let's get started. An introduction to Fundkiss would be a good way to get going. So Fundkiss, we are a digital lending platform, and what we do is essentially allow SMEs to borrow directly from individual and institutional investors while creating impactful investment opportunities for all our investors. Traditionally, businesses are very used to borrowing from the banks and institutions, and there hasn't really been an alternative form of borrowing directly from people who wish to lend. On the other side, we also create a great investment opportunity for all our investors, and impactful because while you're receiving an attractive returns, which we'll get to in a second, you're also having a very direct impact on the SME sector and indirectly on the overall economy. Our mission is very simple. It's to simplify and democratize the access to finance for SMEs in Mauritius, while offering our investors a totally new asset class to invest in. It's a matter of inclusive financing. Our business loans are unsecured and do not require our borrowers to put down any collateral or guarantee on their front, which improves their access to financing, which might not be the case otherwise with traditional forms of financing. It's a real innovation in itself. And we do that through our platform, Fundkiss.mu, through the power of technology. What happens is essentially when a borrower approaches us with a loan application, we conduct all the vetting process and make sure that we are getting the project on the platform, the project that has a sound repayment capacity. And once the project is live on the platform, we run a 30-day campaign wherein our lenders get on board and lend the amount they wish to lend. The projects vary, and we'll get to that in a second. What are the reasons for borrowing, etc. But the idea is that our business loans are to support their growth and operations. We are totally licensed from the FSC, Financial Services Commission of Mauritius. We operate under a P2P lending license from them. Why might a borrower choose to get a business loan from Fundkiss compared to other options? And why might a lender choose to invest with Fundkiss? For borrowers, there are very clear reasons as to why they come and approach Fundkiss. First of all, our loans are unsecured. They do not need to put down a huge guarantee or a collateral just in order to get some sort of financing that will actually help and grow the business. Our application process is fully online as well as super fast. So we're talking about as soon as the campaigns themselves on an average do not last over 15 days. Our fastest one so far has been 3 minutes. From the point the project is actually funded, the disbursement happens within 3 to 4 days, which is quite unprecedented in Mauritius. They also get access to our lender community. So the lenders themselves can actually visit the businesses they're lending to, and there is this community aspect to it. Same way, Fundkiss borrower community also speaks within themselves, and it's not an opaque sort of transaction where you just borrow and that's the end of it. When we put the project online, they get a real visibility through our online reach as well as our platform. And we have also provided some exemplary customer service to our past borrowers, which we keep hearing about on and on. For our lenders, it is a real diversification of the investment portfolio. SME business loans wasn't something a person could invest in traditionally. This was only reserved for banks and institutions, and that's being changed with Fundkiss. We provide solid returns with attractive interest rates. We'll get to that in a minute, but for instance, last financial year, our average interest rate that the borrowers received was 11.7%. You are making an impact on the economy. You're participating in the success and growth of the economy when you lend to SMEs through Fundkiss. You can choose which SMEs you wish to support and lend to, the businesses that matter to you. The tax incentives on lending with P2P platforms such as ours are quite immense. We do have a separate blog article and more literature on it, but essentially, after the tax holidays, etc., the taxable income as well as tax rate on P2P lending is actually very minuscule. You can start as low as 5,000 rupees to begin lending with Fundkiss, and through a fully online process. All you need really is a smartphone and an internet connection. We have a very rigorous credit assessment process and monitoring process where we ensure that we only lend to businesses that have the repayment capacity. More about that in a minute. Later on, we'll walk you through our credit assessment process. And there are no fees whatsoever when it comes to lending on Fundkiss platform. With that in mind, let's look at some of the stats. How has Fundkiss been doing so far? The figures you're seeing on your screen right now are as of the end of June 2021, so the end of last financial year. We had financed over 150 projects at that point and close to 100 million by the end of this month in total loan production. The average interest rate that the borrowers paid was around 13.96%. That's an average of all the projects and their respective interest rates. We have funded projects as little as 50,000 rupees all the way up to 4 million. We are allowed to, by our FSC license, we are allowed to fund a project as large as 5 million rupees. Let's look at what the borrowers look like. So 62%, 62.5% to be precise, of our borrowers are actually SMEs, and the rest of them are registered as sole traders. There is a lot of diversity, not just in terms of the amounts that we lend to the businesses, but also a real diversity in terms of the industries they come from, the size of the business, geographical location of the business within Mauritius, and many other factors. So if you look at the industries they belong to in the last financial year, the biggest industry that borrowed from Fundkiss based on the amount we dispersed was wholesale and retail trade, followed by agriculture, and thirdly, construction. The reason why businesses borrow from us, again, based on the amount dispersed in the last financial year, the biggest reason for borrowing was for working capital purposes to fund the day-to-day expenses of the business, the overhead, the salaries, the rent, etc. Second biggest reason was to do with actually growth, which is great to see. Capital expenditure, that refers to acquisition of, let's say, machinery or expansion of a work site or acquisition of vehicles or other equipment. The third biggest reason was supply chain financing. This is to bridge the gap between acquiring materials and selling them off to their respective customers. Let's now look at some statistics that have to do with lender side of things. We have at the moment, this is as of end of June 2021, but at that point we had over 2,600 registered lenders. The average lending ticket for every single person was around every single person that lended was around 28,691 rupees. I mentioned earlier there are attractive interest rates. When you lend with Fundkiss, the average interest rate for the last financial year was 11.7%. Till date, since Fundkiss started its operations 2 years ago, we have repaid over 34 million rupees back to our lenders. And our lenders actually receive the repayments every month from the projects they lend to. And the repayment consists of the capital as well as the interest. Till date, we have paid over 5 million in interest income alone to all our lenders. We have both institutional as well as individual investors on board, but it's very surprising to see. And I mean, 84% of all the projects are funded by amount by individual investors, such as people like yourself. 16% of the amount that we fund was through institutional investors and organizations. I hope this paints a picture as to where Fundkiss is at the moment and what we do. Next, I will pass it on to Amar, who would share his screen and walk you through the exact specifics of how to lend, as well as our other processes. So Amar, I would let you share the screen now and take.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Kuno, for the great presentation, and thank you all for attending our lenders webinar. So one of the main questions we get is about how do we do our due diligence for our borrowers before the projects go live. So first of all, the eligibility criteria is for a company, we ask a minimum of 2 years of operation, and for a sole trader, we ask a minimum 3 years of operation. We do not finance startups. We do not finance the creations of new businesses. And then there are 5 steps for our credit underwriting process. First of all, there is a pre-vetting by our sales team. They receive the documents. They're the first people to receive the documents. And then they will do a pre-vetting to see if it is a good file, if it has potential and everything. And then they will send it to our credit team, who will carry out a credit analysis to see if the business, the company has the capacity to repay the loan. And then we also do MCIB verification now, since we are licensed by the FSC under the PHPL rules. And if our credit team is okay with the file, with the business model and everything, they will send it to our head of credit risk, who will afterwards send it to our credit committee if he's comfortable with the file. Now it's our credit committee who has the final vetting, the final say on the project. If they agree, the project goes live on our website. You can read more about. We have a lot of blogs in our blog section. You can read more about it on our website. And next, we are going to speak about monitoring and recovery. So, because many people ask me what happens in case a company, a business misses their repayment. So, first of all, if a business misses their first repayment, it's handled internally by our team. And if they miss a second time consecutively, it's handled by our head of credit risk. If they miss third repayment consecutively, then it moves directly to our legal team. And from that, it's our legal team who will deal with them. And in case of a loan default, the legal team would first assess the options before proceeding to court to the execution of the recovery. And now there are three steps, three recovery steps process, which includes protective measures, including freezing orders, court claims for recovery of the debt, and serving statutory demand, bankruptcy notices, petitions. It's what we call mise en demeure. And it's very important to know that up until now, we are very transparent about it. Only gone into legal recovery up until now, and we have financed more than 155 projects. You can read more about it in our blog section. And now we are going to speak about diversification, how to minimize the risk when you're lending, because as we said before, it is unsecured lending. So the best way to diversify your investment to decrease the risk of losing or part or all of your capital, it's by diversification. So an individual investor can invest between 5,000 to 100,000 per project. Whereas, who are individual investors? First of all, individual investors are people like me and you, individuals who can invest up to 100,000 per project. And institutional investors are companies who register as investors. They can invest up to 1 million per project. And coming back to diversification, simple example, let's say you have 100,000 that you kept aside to invest with Fundkiss. We will never tell you, we will never advise you to put the 100,000 in one project, because it's better to put 10,000 in 10 different projects than to put all in one project. Because in this case, if you put all in one project, if the project goes into default, you might even lose all your capital. So that's why it's better to diversify your investment by investing in different low duration projects. There are projects that are low duration 6 months, some are 3 months, some are 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. So it's better to spread your investment across the various types of projects, various sector activities, and various loan duration. And like I said, lenders are encouraged to spread the total amount they intend to invest on the platform across multiple project loans from different sectors and industries. Basically what I just said. And one thing also that is very important, it's not vital to invest all your savings to Fundkiss. So let's say you have simple example. Let's say you have 500,000 in a savings account. Never invest all that 500,000 in Fundkiss. Maybe you can spare 5% or 10% of the total amount, but never put all your investment in one place. Always diversify your investment, and this is unsecured lending. And just to know, our interest rate for the lenders is between 10 to 13% per annum, and you are repaid capital plus interest every month. So let's say a project loan's duration is on 12 months. So during 12 months, you will receive capital plus interest. And how to start lending? It's very easy. First, you just need to sign up as a lender on our new platform, by the way. Our new platform we have just migrated, which includes a wallet. I will come to that a bit later. So first of all, how to start lending? It's very easy. You just need to sign up as a lender on Fundkiss.nu. You will need to submit your KYC documents as well. What is KYC documents? It's a photo of your ID card, photo of your recent proof of address, and we also need your head of bank statement to know on which bank account to do your repayments. And as soon as you are done signing up, you can start lending. And coming back to the wallet, about the new platform. So the wallet is easier in the way that you don't need to do bank transfers every time you invest in a project. So you can just do one bulk bank transfer into the wallet. And then when you invest in different projects, it is directly debited in from the wallet. And you can sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates. We give loads of information about our monthly how it goes wrong with the project and everything. And if you're interested or you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to contact me. You can contact me on the email address provided here, amar@fundkiss.nu, or on the 5942 2018 if you have any questions at all. We will be here to help you, even if you need help to sign up on our website or receive more information, or you know someone who might be interested to start lending. you want to educate a person, we are here to help you. Please don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you for the webinar.